Hello, guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today we're going to be taking a quick look at a little announcement or form post that Planet Zoo has announced. They're announcing Animal Talk, so it'll be interesting. And we'll have a look through this post and see what that Animal Talk sort of entails. So, heyo, zookeepers. Over the next few weeks, we'll be revealing what we've been working on since our Planet Zoo Australia pack. We can't wait for you all to see. Today, we wanted to take the opportunity to tell you all about a new feature the team has been working on, which has been added into the base game of Planet Zoo for free that we'll think you'll all be excited for. Animal Talks. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So let's get into and see what it is. So Animal Talks are staple activities in zoos where educators will share insight about the animals housed in their zoos and share more about conservation efforts. Like in real life, we want these talks to benefit both your guests and your zoos. Let's go into detail so you can get an idea of how they'll be used in Planet Zoo. Though in real life, it isn't really educator, it's kind of the keeper. It's kind of like the second job of a zookeeper. They kind of chat with people as they're taking care of them when they get time that they're not busy. As I've noticed, like when I've been to zoos and chat a lot, especially if someone that's informed, they really like to get into conversation and talk about that. So that's really interesting that they're trying to incorporate that part of, albeit it is an alternate educator, which is often not really the case, but still pretty cool. I really think this is another cool way to help educate your guests within your park. So let's have a look into it. Okay, so would you like to set up an area for a talk to happen, you will need to place an animal talk point. These points need to be placed near a habitat barrier on an exhibit to work correctly. They function similar to other education items. They need to be in a range of what they are educating the guests about. Make sure there's proper space on the path for the animal talk. And once guests join to spectate, they can take up a fair bit of room on the path, but who can blame them? It's because it's very interesting. Get to learn a lot about these wonderful animals that we have in the game. Who wouldn't want to learn more about these wonderful animals you have in your zoos? Animal talks work similar to education boards, where you'll need to set them up for a certain type of animal. So that makes sense. So it's kind of like another way of putting an education board. You'll be able to just plop them on an area. That'd be a talk point. As long as it is in range, very similar to how the other ranges work, in range of an exhibit, and then you can pick what animal it's supposed to be educating about. So it's nothing too different. But I think this is the next big bit is that once you've set up an area, hire an educator. So now we're getting a new type of staff. So that's pretty big. We're getting new staff. He will be hosting the animal talks. You can schedule these talks, and if you do it well, you can have one educator take care of multiple talks throughout the year. So well organized, you can get them all sorted. Even though in real life they'd probably be giving them every day or two. It's just the timeline of the game, since it's going really fast. Because if we played day by day, we'd only have a year zoo, we wouldn't be breeding anything. Because, of course, that wouldn't be fun. But yeah, so if you're lucky, sometimes join in. You'll see some animals walk over to see what all the commotion is about. And if you're lucky, sometimes join in. So that'd be cool. So it looks like after the guests come to walk, they'll come in. After the guests come around to the animal talk point, they'll talk about it. And sometimes the animals join in. That'll be awesome. Apparently, there's a bunch of, looks like distinct animations. That's be awesome. So like if you set an animal talk point up so that the back is towards the habitat, there are no obstructions such as water. The educator may also throw food at the habitat during this talk. Depending on the animal species, this will not be available for every animal. That's fair. I can imagine some like anteaters or with like very specialized diets, whether it be, but if you have like a chunk of meat or a plant, it'd work well for an elephant or a lion or whatever. I think that's pretty interesting. That kind of reminds me of the Ultimate Animal Collection for the Xbox game that Frontier did. The only thing I really liked about that was the animal interactions, because that was fun. That's like I think that's the only thing that really sets it apart from other zoo games, is that those animal interactions were really fun. You get to feed the animals, you get to wash them. Like, they're all real life zoo things that you do, and I thought that was just so awesome to interact with the animals like that. I kind of hope Planet Zoo has kind of those kind of mini games, things like that, because that was really awesome. I really enjoyed those. And even just the first person mode would be awesome because you get to interact with your animals. That's like the one of the big things everyone's asking for. But anyway, so with the animal talks comes new information panel. Each talk can be set up from one habitat or exhibit and one species of animal. Through this panel, you'll be able to enable and disable animal talk points. So we new panel. Pick an animal species for the talk. Pick a month to schedule. This will take place annually. Assign an educator to an animal talk point. Assign an animal talk to a work zone. Okay, that works. Assign the animal talk to a work zone. Select music, which will play when the talk is not in use, so it'd be pretty much flanking the speaker. See if your placement of the animal talk point will allow you educated to throw food in. So that'll be cool. I'll see what species that'll happen there. And then we also have new management tab for animal talks. You can see the list of animal talks, location of animal talk points, habitat of or exhibit talk point type. So there'll be two different types, one for habitats, one for exhibits. Assigned habitats animal species, so you can only have one talk space for one species. So if you have a multi-species enclosure, you need one for each distinct species. So month of talk is scheduled, so it'll tell you then, and if there works assigned to it, and say yes or no. That works well. I like this one. Growling, because a big grizzly bear, or those panda bears. Panda bears are quite cute, but they still growl sometimes. Okay, that's pretty cool. There's a few things to keep in mind for the animal talks. Educators with higher training will increase the amount of happiness and education that guests receive, which will benefit your zoos through donations. So that is another way to help. An animal talk will be cancelled if an educator does not turn up within the prep time, which is used to gather around guests or the talk duration. Be mindful of your scheduling, as while one educator can do several talks, you need to be carefully plan to prevent your talks from being cancelled. An animal talk point will disable if the habitat or animal is invalid, so keep an eye on them while you move out around animals in your habitat. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. So if you move your elephants to another enclosure and there's no elephants in your enclosure, it'll just cancel out. So we hope you enjoyed learning about animal talks, and we'll be revealing when you can get your hands on this game in just a few weeks. In-game for just a few weeks. Can't wait to show you what else I've been working on, and we're looking forward to ending this year on a high note with you all. Make sure to stay tuned with our official channels, any news and announcements. Okay, so I think this is like you could see in the trailer there was a planned educator almost. Might have just been cut for time, but this is a cool extra way to educate your guests. Kind of adds like another, and plus it's another staff member, which is still pretty big. It's kind of cool instead of just having the speakers and the boards, so you can have a good mix of those and really help with education. Though the real question is, what's going to be this pack? And there seems to be some leaks that it might be some aquatic animals, like they mentioned, well, maybe not this pack, but there's a leak they mentioned like sun bears, giant otters, I think so, some sort of seals, penguins maybe. So that'd be really cool to see if they manage to expand somewhat into aquatic packs. But I assume it might be something big coming, because it's kind of been a year. I imagine something a little bit bigger is coming at the end of the year. I'm really, really excited to see what that is. Hopefully it's some aquatics. Because I feel like the things that everyone wants the most, in my head, is first-person view, aquatics, aviaries, and I think just better pathing, but that might not happen. But even though the pathing is survivable, I think those are the main things that everyone wants, and the main things I want, because things like aviaries and aquatic animals is just adds. I think you can have otters, you could have all sorts of different species. Beavers, that's a cool one. Seals, sea lions, maybe even expand into that. Whales and dolphins and manatees and things like that. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I really hope that they managed to give us something to deliver. Of course, I'll buy it and review the animals like I've done with the Australian and the South American pack. So yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys like and subscribe. And always remember to click that little bell so you always get notified when I upload something. And also follow Planet Zoo's medias, of course. And I'll of course also keep you up to date with certain things and give my thoughts and opinions like I do with most things. So yeah, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.